But now we'll get to um, Darkness of Man.
Yeah, this just came out a couple months ago, so you just recently worked with him again, and I
We we
believe they shot
we,
this in L.A., right?
we filmed it last year in L.A. We were
Okay.
in um, Silmar, in Van Nuys, all over L.A. We
Mhm.
shot, and James Brissac, the director, knew of me, so he knew that I could save the production time and money. So they
Sure.
brought me on. Um, Not a lot of action, but I think in this film it was just enough. Um, and his acting in this, I mean, it's getting pretty good reviews,
Nice.
and I think he's proud of the film because it came out really nice. It's like one of those dark movies with the voiceover.
Sure.
Um, so he and Luke LaFontaine, the coordinator, another great coordinator. I work with so many stunt coordinators that are great. Luke is probably up there with Charlie Pacerni. Again, Charlie Pacerni is the one that was able to give me my SAG card for Maximum Risk when I
Yeah.
was telling you earlier. Um, so then, yeah, we shot that. We had a nice wrap party, a few months after that, and it came out. I'm going to say a few months ago, and it's getting good reviews. I mean, people don't really they underestimate Jean Claude is a really good actor, um, especially in that JCVD film he did.
JCVD, even Nicolas Cage gave him props and said,
That
"Oh, he's amazing in this."
that monologue. I mean, again, he's one of those guys that he wants to be prepared. I would always go to the trailer. Okay, Jean Claude, let's go over the lines here, the script, and he's very thorough. He goes, okay, I should do that. I should do it that way. Okay, yeah, okay, let's do that. Okay, and then when he's on set, he's focused. Yeah, we have our cracks and jokes and make us laugh, and I think he likes that. It kind of relaxes him because we've bonded so well throughout the years that he's kind of used to having me there, just to help and make sure um, everything goes smooth. And then I have some other projects on my own coming up. Nothing's in is it's written down, but we're still waiting on the finances. And if Jean Claude needs me, he'll he's got my number. But as far as now, I'm just taking everything that I've learned these last 30 years. It's almost like you have to treat it like you're just starting new. Because if even when I enter a set again, I make sure I go over to meet the craft service people, the wardrobe, the best boy, the grips, just to meet everybody. Again, everybody has a story,
Mhm.
and I love hearing stories, especially like when they're overseas, different locations. I think for me, Thailand was the most beautiful place to film in Phuket, and then we worked our way up to Bangkok. So it was. I think every guy's got to visit Bangkok. You'll have a good time. Um, but anyway, so then a couple 2 3 days ago, I meet David at the Crow
Oh,
screening,
the Crow premiere. Yeah,
which
I
we
was with Don Wilson. I was hanging
no
out
Don.
carpooled with him, you know? Yeah, Don the
That
Dragon
Don
Wilson.
Don is he is another guy that's he's got that aura also that
Sure.
he enters, he's there, and we live a couple 2 3 blocks away, so we're kind of close. But yeah, we I like the Crow. I mean, it worked. Can you replace Brandon Lee? No, but it worked for some reason. The action scenes were really spot on, uh, in my
Oh,
opinion.
for what it is, it was great. I mean, the end with how they cut everything in with the opera, right? I mean, that was
Mm,
crazy, violent, fun, bloody action.
it was. It was. I mean, bloody is an understatement, but I
Don
think,
Wilson said it's the most violent film he's ever seen. That's his quote. Yeah.
especially with that sword, man, he went to town with that sword. It was, yeah. I'm glad I got a chance to go there because we never met. It was the first time we met.
Yeah, the first time. It's
And,
funny.
and,
I was taking
and
pictures with Don in front of that poster, and then you came up to me, you know?
I got to give a shout out to Gabe because Gabe is the one that told me. hey man, you should get in touch with David, the Viking Samurai. So, all right, because I did Gabe's Double Team podcast,
Podcast, yeah.
and Jericho Green, he has his own podcast too. So that's how I got to get David's information, and finally we meet in person, and then hey, we're here,
Now we're doing the
friends
live,
forever,
yeah, which is
friends
great. Man,
forever.
I've been wanting to get you on here for a while, Todd. And thanks so much for sharing the story. Got a couple questions here. So, there's that Van Damme movie that's never been released that they started shooting like in 2008, and then they shot more in
Eagle
2012.
Path.
Eagle Path. Yeah, it's got a lot of
Yeah.
different titles. Did you work on that at all?
No, that was a project that it's been put on. It was shot, put on the shelf for a while, and I think Jean Claude he does want to. Well, from last time I talked to him, he does want to release it, but I guess he's just waiting for the right time. But I've seen it twice, and it's really
Okay.
good. Not a lot of action, but again, the storyline, his acting, his fans are gonna love it. So I guess he's just waiting, to release that.
I've talked to so many people about it, even behind the scenes who've seen it and then said various things. I think most people, it's the curiosity factor at this point being about 15 years still
Yeah,
unreleased of just it's almost like something that was in a time capsule, and then we see it because Van Damme, of course, is older now, but when he shot that, he was like what, in his 40s, right? Now
yeah,
he's in his 60s. So
he's in the
it's
60s.
kind
Yeah,
of it'll be kind of cool to see a much younger Van Damme in a
yeah.
quote new movie, right?
Mhm. But he's still in great shape. I mean, he's like a training machine. The last time after we filmed um, Darkness of Man, I went with them to Gold's Gym, and man, he's like a machine. He just loves to do his cardio, and he loves to do light weights, a lot of reps, which is important now because we're getting older. I don't want to get bigger.
Does he
Just try
avoid
to.
injuries? He avoids injuries really well.
Well, yeah, I mean, because he's always stretches almost every day. Like I said,
Yeah.
even when I go swimming, I make
That's
sure I stretch.
admirable because I mean I'm 53 and I have my injuries, repetitive
Yeah,
motion. To hear somebody his age still doing well, but they did it smart. I didn't always
yeah.
do it smart, my training. So yeah.
Well, you
And then
know
that,
what beneficial is training slow. I had this program. Funny enough, I had some of my best gains ever in high school training extremely slow. There's a book called Bigger Muscles in 42 Days from Ellington Darden. And doing that program was the first time ever that I got over 200 pounds. I was like 16 at the time. But the reps, not the sets, the reps literally take you about 30 to 60 seconds to do one rep. So obviously you got to go pretty light because you're contracting that muscle extremely slow, where it takes you a minute to do like a curl. But
yeah,
people get crazy gains. One of my friends' uncles exclusively trains with super light weights and looks phenomenal. He was one of the strongest guys for his age and his weight at a certain time. But you're pretty much not going to get injured training that way too. So that's a huge
yeah,
benefit.
yeah. And a lot of guys, want to put as much weight as I can. And back
Ego
when
lifting, yeah.
back then,
I
yeah,
guess
that's
all your
20, 30
system is
years ago.
where
But
you start getting banged up a little bit.
now it's
You know,
just,
you know what you call that at our age? That's called ego injuries. That's all that happens.
Ego lifting, ego.
ego injury about to happen.
That's
Yeah, that's
And
funny.
and also, guys, I after Darkness of Man, I worked again with James Brissac, the director. He did a film called The Workout. It was one of his own projects that he did, and I think it's going to be released soon. I play a strip club owner, like a sleazy strip club owner that really gets the crap beat out of him. But that was the second time I worked with James, and he's a really great director. He's got a nice close knit crew, and I think we're going to do something, in the future again. But yeah, after the rideshare killer, it's called The Workout. With
Okay.
Peter J was also in Darkness of Man. He played the head Korean. guy. So it's cool because you get to work with all these actors and actresses in different films, different characters, and you see what they bring to the table. Different
Oh, for sure.
different auras of their personality. So